The purpose of this consultation was to provide a platform for practitioners, service providers, and civil organizations in ASEAN member states to discuss and assess good practices, challenges, and possible cooperation on the referral mechanism on protection of victims of gender-based violence and human trafficking with multidisciplinary approaches and promote regional referral mechanism in line with the ASEAN Convention Against Trafficking in Persons, especially for women and children. The consultation focused on three main topics: referral systems as a response to address gender-based violence and trafficking in persons, trafficking at sea, and how ASEAN responds to the trafficking in persons and forced labor in the fishing sector, trafficking in persons and the misuse of technology. In responding to trafficking in persons, practitioners and civil organizations in the ASEAN member states shared experiences in implementing referral mechanisms that addressing protection risks and concerns which build upon national and regional standards on protection. The government of Thailand has developed a national referral mechanism to protect and assist survivors of trafficking in persons. It is divided into 4 processes, including receiving the report, screening process, victim identification process, and protection process. In Thailand, the National Referral Mechanism of Trafficking in Persons also provides a reflection period for the victims, allowing victims to determine their needs and readiness to cooperate with local authorities. A 15 days reflection period will be provided during the screening and identification process and an additional 30 days reflection period during the provision of protection services. This will provide sufficient time for the victims to reflect on their needs and whether or not they would like to pursue a legal case in Thailand. The ASEAN member states also discussed how they mainstream protection approaches in their response, including ensuring gender sensitivity and diversity as well as cultural sensitivity. For example, in the Philippines, they adopted the intersectional approach and community-based strategies in their national referral mechanism on gender-based violence and trafficking, ensuring all the services are responsive to the victim's needs, respecting their gender identity, sexual orientation, culture and belief, and preventing them from further harm. Indonesia adopted an integrated service mechanism in assisting victims of trafficking involving multi-stakeholder at national and local levels to fulfill basic needs and the rights of victims of trafficking. The intervention is provided using individual and community approaches. Additionally, Lao People's Democratic Republic, Vietnam, Cambodia and Malaysia also shared their promising practices in providing protection services to the victims through referral mechanisms, including promoting multi-sectoral approaches and partnerships with civil society organizations. Labor force, particularly in fisheries, is a multidisciplinary issue that requires cooperation across regions. The challenges in tackling this issue caused by several aspects, including complexity of maritime jurisdictions, availability and accessibility of protection services, policies framework to respond trafficking and forced labor at sea, and capacity, knowledge and skills of frontline officers. ASEAN countries, a home to more than 31,000 island economies and contributed to the 25% of fisheries product in the Asia-Pacific, have made a collective effort to prevent trafficking, forced labor and other labor right violation at sea by adopting the ASEAN Declaration on the Placement and Protection of Migrant Fishers. The declaration calls for ASEAN member states to take action to improve their policies and promote cooperation at bilateral and multilateral levels to strengthen the protection of migrant fishers. As the world continues to transform digitally, technology is increasingly becoming a tool to facilitate trafficking in persons. According to the data of IOM Regional Office for Asia in the Pacific, there is a significant influx of vulnerable migrants who are trapped in exploitative working conditions in which most of them were recruited through online platforms. The data shows that more than thousands of vulnerable migrants trafficked for forced criminality in the scam centers between 2022 and 2023. Traffickers used a strategy called phishing to recruit victims by advertising well-paid jobs to attract potential victims and make initial contact with the traffickers. The ASEAN member states addressed this issue by adopting a declaration on combating trafficking in persons caused by the abuse of technology, adopted in Labuan Bajo in May 2023. The declaration aims to strengthen referral mechanisms and to develop strategies and explore new approaches to combat trafficking in persons caused by technology. The forum identified challenges in the implementation of the referral systems such as language and cultural barriers, diverse skills and understanding of frontline officers on the trafficking indicators, awareness of victims on trafficking issues, budget and resources constraints which lead to the lack of services, and limited cooperation with non-government partners. Comprehensive and tailored protection services will lead to the successful prosecution of the crimes. Mainstreaming protection throughout the referral process from screening, identification, rehabilitation, return to reintegration as a shared responsibility. Strong collaboration and partnership among government, non-government and private sectors are crucial to ensure meaningful and tailored services to the victims. Cooperation framework through national and regional referral mechanisms should be built upon these principles with the ultimate goal, protection of victims. At the end of the consultation, the forum agreed to strengthen referral mechanism among ASEAN member states through data and information exchanges, joint capacity building programs for frontline officers and enhance bilateral cooperation to prevent, protect and prosecute trafficking in persons.